Hi everybody. 225 days ago, on August 3rd of 2020, we had our first of 3 live stream events to tell you, our school family, what we were anticipating for this 2020-2021 school year. And now, here we are, looking in the rearview mirror, and we can see in the rearview mirror 3/4 of a school year. And we just have so much to be thankful for, and we want to share that with you. We are so thankful that we have been able to have both in-person and remote education through this entire school year. We have been able to have very few stoppages during the school year with quarantines, only a few. By God's grace, the few times that we have had COVID, our students or our faculty have recovered, and we really haven't seen a substantial spread of COVID during this school year. We're thankful that we've been able to have some really fun special events like the Christmas lighting ceremony, and believe it or not, we were able to have a kind of Spirit Week this year, which was a lot of fun. And we're thankful that we've even been able to have our sports seasons. Our basketball season has already wrapped up, and we are in the process of gearing up for a great soccer and volleyball season. And frankly, 7 months ago, most of these things seemed like kind of a long shot, but God in His goodness has given us a really encouraging and exciting school year. On top of that, as if managing COVID wasn't enough, we as a school leadership team decided that we would try and continue to retain our accreditation through Cognia. And about a month and a half ago, we received word that our accreditation had been renewed. Only a few weeks ago, we got our final accreditation review and got high marks in lots of areas. Of course, there are some areas to improve, but that's why you go through an accreditation process. And so we were able to accomplish that this year. About halfway through first semester, one of the churches that has a handful of students in our school, some faculty members, reached out to us, and their leadership had given us $5,000 to help just meet the general fund for this school year. Then, just before Christmas, when we weren't sure how we were going to be able to provide Christmas bonuses for our school faculty, many of you gave generously towards that. But that same church, their entire pastoral team, voted to use this year's Christmas offering that their church normally takes for them and donate it back to our school faculty. And in doing that, along with your donations, our school faculty received some of the most generous bonuses that they have ever received. When we look back on 3/4 of this school year, we can see God's hand of provision again and again and again. We want to thank you as families. When we rolled out our plans back in August, you put an awful lot of confidence in us trying to accomplish those things this school year. We're so thankful for the many kind emails and text messages and notes and phone calls from so many of you. And obviously this is a joint venture, and we're thankful for your support through this school year. Well, many other schools were not meeting in person, and frankly were losing track of their students. We were able to continue this school year without skipping much of a beat, and we're just very thankful for that. We are committed to having, as a school, our fourth quarter be our strongest quarter of the year. And we feel like strength is in the norms. And so we want to encourage you as parents, as you support your kids in their core subjects, math, science, English, history, Bible, to stay on it. Let's have a good last quarter of education. On top of that, we are excited about the soccer and volleyball season, and that will run through the entirety of the month of March and into early April. And then we have our normal special events in the fourth quarter, things like National Honor Society induction, yearbook dedication, sports awards, and of course spring break, which is only about a week and a half away. We want fourth quarter to really be a springboard into this next school year. And so with that in mind, we want to let you know about 4 important events that are taking place just in the next few weeks. The first is this coming Friday, March 19th, and that is our kindergarten open house. That'll be from 6:30 to 8 o'clock in the old gym. And we are inviting prospective kindergartners and their families to come and learn about our program. They'll get an opportunity to look at our facility, to meet our kindergarten staff, and then ask any questions that they have. We have a wonderful kindergarten program, and we would love to have your friends or family come and be able to experience that. Of course, we're going to do all of that while meeting all mandated COVID guidelines. If you have any questions about that, you can reach out to our office, or you can visit our school Facebook page. There is a brochure that's on there, a picture of a brochure, and you can share that with folks around you. Also, next week is our Iowa Testing Week. You say, didn't you already do that this year? And the answer is yes. We tested in the fall, and that was simply a late test from last spring since we weren't able to do that. So that was really last year's test, but we need to do our test for this year. And we just want to encourage you as families to get your students to bed at a reasonable time, make sure they're well fed and hydrated before they take their tests next week. Those tests are important for us to know how we rank in relation to Beth Eden in the past, and also on a regional and national scale. So our testing is next week. Also, early enrollment is next week. On Tuesday night, March 23rd, you can come by appointment during the day from 8:30 to 1:30, or you can come just anytime from 2 o'clock to 7 o'clock. Early enrollment is important for us because it allows us to have a sense of who's returning next year. But on top of that, it's important for you. Our normal registration fee is $350. But if you come, you can save $200 on that registration fee. So it's an important benefit for you as well. This year, we did raise tuition for next school year, but only $100. So if you're on a 10-month plan, that's only $10 a month. And the only reason for that tuition raise was so that we could honor a cost of living increase for our teachers. You may remember in our back to school live streams, we shared with you that our teachers had agreed to take a 5% pay decrease. In fact, our entire staff in the church, school, and camp had agreed to that. And within moments of announcing that, one of our donors said that they would cover that 5% for the entire school year. Again, all praise to God for that, as He provided, and our teachers have been able to have 100% salary through this entire school year. But what that $100 price increase is essentially a price freeze from this year. It only includes that cost of living increase for our teachers. And then finally, normally this time of year, we are gearing up for our silent auction and benefit banquet. And this year, we're not able to do that because of the lingering effects of COVID. We just don't feel that's wise. So we're going to do a virtual event. We have named it a Teleramathon, and that'll be on Friday, April 9th in the evening. You can look for all kinds of information about that coming out over the next few weeks, where basically you will have opportunity to help the school's general fund by making a donation, by making a pledge for next school year, or by actually participating in an online auction. You say, what is a Teleramathon? Well, imagine blending the silent auction of previous years with all of the celebration of God's goodness and kind of inspiring what is next, and then as a fundraiser, wed that with a 1980s PBS telethon. And if you can put those two together, that's what our virtual event will be like. We'll feature testimonies from students and from faculty. It'll just be a fun night together. Which brings us to next year. Just this afternoon, I was visiting with a parent in the lobby of the school, and we were just talking about life, but the parent said this: "We need a school like Beth Eden along the Front Range." And we couldn't agree more. We are absolutely planning on having school next school year, 2021, 2022, and Lord willing, long into the future. Our slogan as a school has been educational excellence in a caring Christian atmosphere, or you could say it this way: we provide a Christian worldview education in an intensely focused disciple-making culture. And by God's grace, it looks like we are going to finish this school year in good shape financially. And compared to other schools, we feel like we've had a really good school year. Compared to Beth Eden of the past, we know that we have some ground to make up. And so it is our prayer, it's our desire that we could pair some of what we have learned in this school year with our strengths from the past and be even stronger moving forward. I want to let you know that we are in the midst of an earnest administrator search. Leading up to this year and then in this year, we did see a decrease in enrollment over the last 2 years. And that was primarily because of folks that were moving out of state and then from COVID. And so we made a choice to keep our program intact. And it would have been hard to have offered the scope of education that we have historically offered while carrying an administrator's salary. And so this year, again, because we're in good place financially and because we are budgeting for next year to be able to hire an administrator, we can more aggressively search for one. We have reached out to an individual that is our first choice as administrator, and there is mutual interest. And so would you pray with us that God's will would be done and that God would send to us exactly the right leader? I don't believe there is a question as to whether or not we'll have an administrator, a new administrator going into next school year. We're just praying for God's clear direction as to who that will be. We also want to communicate to you that we are going to offer a very special program going into next year to reward any of you that might be able to direct prospective students our way. We have always felt like our best student growth has happened through referrals. And so if you refer a student to us and that student enrolls in the school, then in October of next school year, we will provide for you a $250 credit on your school bill. We believe in what God is doing at Beth Eden. We believe in our faculty. We believe in the slogan of educational excellence in a caring Christian atmosphere. And as we move out of this strange COVID season, we're looking for families that share that vision for Christian education. And if you can help pair us up, then we simply want to reward you for that. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this short video. We will probably do more of these as we wrap up the school year and begin turning our attention to next school year. If you have any questions from this video, please feel free to contact the school office and we'll be glad to answer any questions that you have. Thanks again for watching this video. Take care and go Knights.